This car is the elephant in the room. This is the car that nobody really wants to discuss the enormity of the job ahead of them, right? That is what this car is made of. It's just scrap, it really is. Now these panels here, we're having to make from scratch because we can't get the panels. But it's just a massive job. And the reality is, nobody in here has mentioned or even hinted at the size of it because we're all absolutely terrified of it. Say no more.
I just want to show you the extent to which we've had to go on this Mercedes. Here is a new sill section that's being made up, and actually the only part we've been able to get for this offside is actually this little section here. So the rest of it we've had to have fabricated up because we've had to cut away so much of the car, and that is all going to go into there. Then if I go over here, you can see how much we've had to cut it away. It's so rotten and it's been so badly repaired that we're having to go all the way back in. This is about 6 to 8 inches into the car. It's absolutely unbelievable, and there's still more rot. I mean, there are still more repairs to do here, and now that we've cut into this box section, we can see up into behind the wheel arch here. Everything is an utter disaster. Now this is one of the rear chassis legs for this Mercedes, and essentially what we're going to have to do is cut the whole of the back end of this car off. Most of it's scrap. We're going to put in this new chassis leg and then build the whole of the rear of the car back up around it. So it's going to happen on both sides. What I'm about to do now is quite dramatic. I'm going to cut the back of this car completely away from the rest of it. Okay, so where am I going to go in? I'm going to cut straight through there and straight down here. Starting to look less and less like a beautiful Mercedes Pagoda, that's for sure. Now there are one or two parts that we want to keep on the car, one or two panels. I don't want to ruin them, I don't want to cut the corners off them because we're going to need to reuse them. And in fact, they're part of the key to getting everything back into the correct place. There's going to be a lot of measuring and a lot of time spent making sure that everything is in the correct position, because we want this car to be absolutely tip-top. Okay, there we are. This is the worst car that we've ever taken on Car S.O.S. And I hope that I never ever have to go this far with any car ever again.
This car doesn't get any less terrifying. The amount of work that's gone into this is incredible. To kind of get your eyes around, it's as simple as the bits that are black are new sections, the bits that are green are old sections, and the bits that are shiny silver have been hand fabricated from flat pieces of steel. So it really doesn't need an explanation, but you can see how much work has gone into it. Let's have a look around the back. These braces here have just been put there to stop the car falling to pieces, literally just bending across the middle whilst the sills are off. So these rear legs here are both brand new. There's nothing on the back of this car. We have never, in our history, taken on so much work. And who would have guessed it? If you remember this thing, how it was when we first got it, it was quite a nice looking Mercedes Pagoda. Now, it is nothing more than terrifying and utterly depressing, but we're getting there, we're getting there. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this only once. If we could have gone back in time, if we had known just how bad this car was, would we have done this?
Absolutely not. And saying that, that's a bit of a royal we. But the only thing that we've had up our sleeves to get us out of the hole has been Dave and Dan.
Yeah, that's true. These guys have worked miracles. But I have to say, the amount of hours we've put into this collectively as a company, already to get to this stage, is more than we spend on most cars.
Yeah,
just
yeah.
on this already.
Yeah,
So this is going to be 3 cars we'd normally do.
But consider it, I mean, look at the state of that. That is the reality. You've got to step back in time and look at what was there.
Right, where's the spare wheel? Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, this is another reminder. The spot welds have been drilled out of it, but that is just horrible, isn't it? Imagine getting underneath a car and seeing that.
Yeah, well, it was there, wasn't it?
Have you made another one of these? Yeah. What does it look like? Oh, wow.
So that's perfect. So you've actually hand-formed all of that?
Yeah. Nice work. Guys, you know what? Seriously, really appreciate your work, because I know you've been going for this hell for leather. Right, we don't want you to see this yet. That's why we're sticking our heads like this, to block your view.
Absolutely, but come this way.
Something
Come
amazing to see that actually looks like a car again.
Yeah.
3,
2, 1.
Yes!
There we go.
Yes! Look at that. It is the Pagoda. It actually looks like one again, Fuzz.
It's brilliant, isn't it? You can actually see all the correct lines. It doesn't look like a jelly mold anymore.
No.
It's absolutely perfect.
And it feels like we're back on track.
Yep.
This was the one that was going to break us.
That's
and
right.
now, that's not going to happen. Well,
Okay, yeah, I mean, but it's taken over 500 hours just to get it to this stage. But there's still a mountain to climb.